Please do not make this mistake. This is your PC and you are going to regret buying it because this GPU is dead. Today I'm going to be reviewing one of you guys' PC build power list and I'm going to fix it. That way you get the best gaming performance for the price that you are paying. This is a boost my build video and this idea comes from Jason from the PC Builders YouTube channel, so big shout out to him. My name is Valentino and if you want to be in the next video, the instructions will be down in the description and you will also have my boosted build for this video down below. If you find valuable information, subscribe and leave a like, it's going to help the channel a lot. That being said, let's start. So this message comes from Nathan and he says, "Hey Valentino, I need help. I'm looking for a new PC build. I have $1,800 all the way up to $2,200 to spend. I want to play single player games like Hogwarts Legacy, Cyberpunk 2077, Flight Simulator, GTA 5, 4K, high to ultra settings, gaming only, so no streaming or content creation or anything like that. Maybe I start streaming in the future. I like RGB. Okay, great. So we have a nice budget to work with, especially when we're talking about 4K high to ultra settings. Please do not make this mistake. This is your PC and you are going to regret buying it because this GPU is dead and also the CPU is not a gaming CPU. Let me explain. I'll start with the CPU and GPU combo, which are the responsible components for your gaming performance. So the i9-14900KS, amazing CPU, really good in terms of an expensive high-end CPU, but only for content creators, okay? If you're going to do just gaming, the 14900KS is terrible in terms of value because it's not power efficient at all and also it's very hard to cool down. And this liquid cooler you went with, the 240mm from Cooler Master, is just not going to be enough for an i9-14900K. So you are spending a lot of money on a CPU that's literally not going to give you any gaming advantage over a cheaper i7 or Ryzen 7 processor. And on top of that, you are adding difficulty to your build because you have to have a bigger cooler, which you do not have. So I wouldn't put this PC together. The temps are going to be horrible and also the performance is not going to be there for 4K solution. The 4070 Ti is a great GPU. I actually have it in my main build, which is a content creation and gaming 1440p system, but for 4K the 4070 Ti is not ideal. The reason why it's not ideal is because you get 12 gigs of VRAM and you said you wanted to play high demanding games like Hogwarts Legacy, and I highly doubt you will be able to play that game on ultra settings utilizing less than 12 gigs of VRAM. So especially now this GPU is dead at that price point because you are already spending $710 and you can get the 4070 Ti Super if you want to go with an NVIDIA GPU for just a bit more and get 16 gigs of VRAM. That's a much better bet. Or you can get a faster graphics card at this price point because for $2,000, trust me, we can do much better when it comes to your gaming performance overall. There are plenty of different reasons why I wouldn't put this PC together. First of all, the cooler is not enough for your CPU. Secondly, the motherboard is a B760 motherboard. This is not a motherboard that you should pair with the i9-14900K ever. And then another reason why this PC might be in danger is because of the power supply. This is a great unit, A tier rated, 750 watts. The only reason why it's not ideal for your build is because you need more wattage. Maybe you will be fine with 750 watts for gaming, but if the GPU suffers one bad spike, it's probably going to shut down and you don't want that to happen. You want your PC to be safe. So I would recommend for this particular build at least 850 watts, possibly 1000 watts. For some people that's an overkill, but the prices for the power supplies are not that expensive right now. I mean the price difference between a 1000 watt power supply and a 750 watt one. So do not put this PC together. Then you went with 64 gigs of DDR5 memory, slow memory by the way, because you went with slow speeds, and I do not like 64 gigs on this system because you are not a content creator, you just want to do gaming, and having 64 gigs over 32 gigs is not going to give you any gaming advantage. So you overspent in many of these components. Then you went with a 1TB drive, which is fine, but you are going to download a bunch of heavy titles, so I do recommend you getting 2 TB at least for this build, especially at this price point. You could literally have a much better system at this price, and I'm going to put a much better PC together for you in a second. But before doing that, I want to talk about the case. I do like the NZXT H6 Flow, and I do think that at this price, you can start spending in NZXT cases because they are actually nice, and you can have a very nice aesthetic overall. However, here you get 3 pre-installed fans, and you don't have extra fans, which is not ideal for this type of case. So if you wanted to put this PC together anyway, you would have to spend more in at least 3 extra fans, so please do not put this one together. The total price is about $2,046, which is a good price for you because you were willing to spend up to $2,200. But let's put a new PC together that's going to be much better for you, faster, and you are not risking your system with the power supply and CPU cooler. So here we have the $2,100 gaming system for 4K Ultra. You can run any game that you want at 4K with no issues, and I will get to the level of performance and the performance difference between my system and yours in a second. But let me explain why this system is much better than the one that you were going with. Here we have a Ryzen 7 7800X3D, which is arguably the fastest CPU in the entire market when it comes to gaming. It is much cheaper than the 14900KS, slightly faster on average, much more power efficient, so you don't require a big cooler, and then the power draw is not as high. However, I kept your cooler, the reason why I kept this 240 liquid cooler, and at this price point having nice aesthetics is an option, so I just kept your cooler. It's going to be totally fine with this Ryzen 7. Then with the GPU, I went with the RTX 4080 Super, which is way better than the RTX 4070 Ti non-super, because you get faster performance and you get 16 gigs of VRAM, which is going to be required for the type of games that you want to play, and especially because you want to play them on high to ultra settings. You can also play with ray tracing enabled because the 4080 Super is one of the best graphics cards when it comes to ray tracing performance. I went with a Gigabyte B650 Aorus Elite AX motherboard. Then I went with your right RAM size, 32 gigs of RAM, DDR5, 6000 MHz CL30 timings. This is faster than the kit that you were going with, so you can expect faster performance in some scenarios. Then I chose 2 TB of Gen 4 SSD for you to have more space to download more games. Then I went with an N60 H5 Flow. This one is not like the H6 Flow, however it has really good airflow, and if you want to go with the N60 aesthetic, this one is nice. I did add one extra fan from N60 for you to put in the exhaust fan. It's quite expensive, so if you want you can go with a cheaper case and save up some money, but since you have the budget, I think it was a good idea because you already wanted to go with an N60 case before. And last but not least, I went with an 850 watt power supply. You can get away with 750 watts in this case, but I went with more wattage just for safety. The price for this system is $2,097, and I want to say that when I was making this build, the CPU was cheaper, and I believe this CPU to go back to that price on the Amazon Prime Day, which is coming soon, so you can wait if you want to buy the CPU. For the rest of the components, I don't know if Amazon Prime Day will have good deals. I just know that the CPU possibly is going to have that deal back because they usually do this with the 7800X3D. Hopefully on Prime Day we will have this CPU back to $340. It still fits your budget, so if you want to buy a PC right now because you want it right now, then you are going to be completely fine. In terms of gaming performance, the 4070 Ti that you were going with is able to average around 65 FPS at 4K Ultra in high demanding titles. I do recommend you turning on DLSS, however, I will get to that in a second. The 4080 Super was able to average 85 FPS, that's a 20 FPS difference, and then the 7900 XTX, which is another option from AMD, over 90 FPS and is a bit cheaper, so if you want to spend less, go get the 7900 XTX. Don't worry, the link to this alternative will be down in the description as well with the entire system. And I do like the 4080 Super a bit more, even though it's more expensive, because you get the NVIDIA feature set, you get a better level of ray tracing, and you get DLSS, which looks better than FSR, even though 4K resolution, I'm not really concerned about that difference between FSR and DLSS, because FSR works very well at 4K, and I do recommend you turning on FSR or DLSS depending on the graphics card that you choose when it comes to very high demanding games, because if you want to stay over 60 to 80 FPS all the time, having DLSS or FSR turned on is going to achieve that, and I do think that it looks amazing regardless. But of course you should try every setting, play with the setting that you like the most, but that's only for Cyberpunk 2077, Flight Simulator and Hogwarts Legacy. You also said you wanted to play GTA 5, well, in that game you do not turn anything on, just put the settings on ultra and you're going to be completely fine. And that's the case for most games with this system. 4K native, you are going to be averaging really good frame rates. So I hope that you like this build, and if you need personal PC help, the instructions will be in the description, and in the top link you can also ask me for personal PC help and I will help you out one-on-one as soon as possible, helping you choose the right gaming PC. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.